Let's begin with this. How are you feeling?
Well, Aaron, it's really awe-inspiring to be here representing the people of Idaho, especially when you consider that I'm only the 11th person to hold seat 1, this particular seat, the Bill Burris seat, and it's sobering, and it really creates a tremendous awe, and it's just a tremendous honor to be representing the.
Are you being taken care of there in Washington, your first day?
Well, I don't know about being taken care of. We had our swearing-in ceremony, and then I had a reception, and there were actually some Idaho people that traveled all the way here to just for the reception, and we had a lot of people come by. Other senators came by to wish us well, and everyone's in a good mood, and spirits are good, even though the challenges are many and great for this country.
Yeah, I can bet. What's the feeling over there over a forthcoming stimulus package?
Well, as you know, it's a moving target with a lot of moving parts, and every day you pick up the paper, there's a different version, and I think that particularly people on my side of the aisle are waiting and reserving judgment till they see what the final product is, and I think we're ways away from that yet. I don't think anyone thinks that we're close to what would be the final product on a stimulus package.
Has anyone approached you yet about a committee appointment?
Well, the way that works is generally you approach them, and having done that for 20 years in the state senate, only I was on the other side of it. I was in leadership. I have talked to leadership, and in fact, I've been talking to them since long before the election. And I'm cautiously optimistic that I'll be able to get a seat on the Energy and Natural Resources Committee. My predecessor had that for a lot of years, and before him, Senator McClure had that for a lot of years. So it's really a natural committee for the kinds of issues that affect Idaho, and it's also important nationally. So it's a committee that's my first choice.
Absolutely. What are your feelings on the appointment of Senator Brad Little as your successor as Lieutenant Governor?
Well, I couldn't be more thrilled. Brad is a close personal friend of mine. I served in the state senate with Brad's father for many years. I then served with Brad for many years. Brad was a finance chairman of my campaign. He's a close personal friend and has been for many, many years. He and I and Vicki and Teresa have been friends for many years, and so I think Brad is just a tremendously talented person, and I thought it was an excellent choice by the governor.
Are you acquainted at all with the call for President Bush to pardon Sergeant Evan Vela of St. Anthony? I know that Senator Crapo and Representative Mike Simpson are in support of that. Are you acquainted with that? And if so, would you back that as well?
Well, Aaron, let me say this. I was acquainted with it prior to my election, but only in a peripheral way. I had a conversation with both Mike and Mike, not separately but together, about this very issue today, and we talked about the issue and the strategy regarding the issue, and the conclusion was we're going to talk some more about it. But I am just becoming familiar with it, and as the days pass here, I'm going to become more familiar with it.
What's the feeling over there concerning Roland Burris? He was the appointed senator for Illinois. He was turned away this morning. Have you heard anything over there on Capitol Hill?
Well, of course, there's a lot of talk about that here, and the rules of the Senate are very clear that in order to be seated, you need a certificate from your state signed by both the governor and the Secretary of State. And when you're elected or when you're appointed, that is a traditional document, and that document has been around for well over a century as far as being the necessary document to be seated. His document carries the signature of Governor Blagojevich, but does not carry the signature of the Secretary of State. Indeed, that line is blank. And as a result of that, Rule 11 of the rules of the United States Senate do not permit him to be seated. So he was not seated today, and I didn't. I saw every other senator, every senator here. I did not see him on the ground, so I don't know if he even came to the building today. But I know that he is scheduled to meet with the majority leader tomorrow.
I know it's a little early. It's your first day really on the job, but can we count on a second term yet? Have you thought that over?
Aaron, the answer to that is no. I have not thought that over. Vicky and I were talking the other day. This is, I do have a 6-year term, and indeed, this is the first time since I was 21 years old that I'll have a 6-year period of time where I won't be involved in an election. So I have not given it any thought, and I have the luxury of not having to give it any thought for some time yet. But we'll get to that when it's appropriate.
Is there anything you'd like your constituents back here in Idaho to? You want to purvey a message at all?
Well, I want to thank them for sending me to the United States Senate. I can say that back here, the same concerns are prominent that are there in Idaho, namely the concerns over the economy and concerns over national security. We've elected a new president. Obviously, I certainly don't agree with him on all philosophical issues, but I believe he's a man that is sincere about wanting to improve the economy and wanting to defend our country. And I want him to be successful in that regard, and I'm certainly going to work with the other senators to accomplish those things. And I'm hoping that we will all move forward in a bipartisan fashion and try to make life better for everyone here in America, and especially for Idahoans. So that's the message I would leave.
In that spirit, and this will be my last question, but what is the relationship between the two parties, especially now that it's largely a Democratic, both House and Senate?
Well, I think the jury is out on that. I know that there's a lot of discussion about being less partisan than what there's been in the past. In fact, I got a call this weekend from a Democrat senator who wanted me to meet with a group of a combination of Republicans and Democrats to try to make things a little more civil here. And I'm certainly going to take them up on that. We have a Republican senator that is leading a similar effort, and I think that remains to be seen. I've been in this business long enough to tell you that these things are personality-driven, and since they are personality-driven, they can be managed. And even though we're not going to agree all the time, there's absolutely no reason we can't be civil to each other and get along and do what's in the best interest of the country.
All right, Senator, good luck. Thank you for your conversation this morning. Hopefully we'll be able to talk again here in the near future.
Aaron, I'm available anytime. You know that.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Good to talk to you.